The message popped up on my phone at 9:17 p.m., lighting up the dark living room. Still thinking about how you looked today. That smile wasn't for him. I read it twice, hoping my brain would rearrange the words into something harmless. It didn't. My chest tightened, not like panic, more like a slow, sinking pressure, as if something heavy had settled inside me and refused to move. From the kitchen, I heard dishes clink. My wife, Mara, was humming softly, the same tune she always did when she was in a good mood. I locked my phone and sat there, staring at the blank TV screen, my reflection faintly visible. I looked calm, too calm. "Can you grab the trash before bed?" I asked when she walked in. She stopped, eyes sharp, shoulders tense like I'd flipped a switch. "I'm not your servant," she snapped. The words hit harder than I expected, not because of what they said, but because of who was standing behind her. Evan, her coworker. He'd driven her home from a late meeting. He leaned casually against the doorframe, coffee cup in hand, wearing that polite, knowing smile men get when they think they're winning. I glanced at him, then back at her. My voice came out steady. "Fine." That was it. One word. Calm. Controlled. Inside, something cracked. This wasn't the first strange moment, just the loudest. For months, things had felt off. Mara used to call me on her way home, telling me about her day, complaining about traffic, laughing about nothing. Then the call stopped. "Too busy," she'd said. "Too tired." Her phone started living face down. Password changed. Screen dimmed whenever I walked by. I told myself I was imagining things. That marriage dulls the edges of excitement, not loyalty. That trust means not checking up on the person you love. But doubt has a way of whispering when the house is quiet. Evan started coming up in conversation more. Evan said this. Evan helped with that. Always Evan. Funny Evan. Reliable Evan. I'd met him once at a company picnic. Firm handshake. Easy laugh. He'd looked at Mara like she was already familiar territory. That night, after I said, "Fine," Mara avoided my eyes. Evan excused himself quickly, still smiling, like he'd just watched a private joke play out. When the door closed, the silence between us felt thick, uncomfortable. "You embarrass me," she said finally. I almost laughed. "By asking you to take out the trash?" "Don't talk to me like that in front of people." "People," I repeated. "Or him." Her jaw tightened. "You're being paranoid." There it was. The word that makes you question your own sanity. I didn't argue. I went to bed early, staring at the ceiling, replaying everything. Her tone, his smile, that text burning a hole in my pocket. Sleep didn't come easy. The next morning, she left early. I stayed behind, my coffee going cold as I stared at a forgotten tablet on the counter. I told myself not to touch it. Then I told myself trust shouldn't require blindfolds. The messages were there, not explicit. Worse, intimate. Complaints about me. Jokes I wasn't part of. Photos taken from angles I hadn't seen in years. A growing closeness wrapped in plausible deniability. He doesn't listen like you do. I feel more like myself around you. Each line felt like a small betrayal, stacking up until I couldn't breathe properly. I remembered our early years, cooking together in our tiny apartment. Late night talks about nothing and everything. The way she used to reach for my hand in public. Those memories didn't disappear, but now they stung, like pressing on a bruise you didn't know was there. When she came home that evening, I watched her differently. The way she smiled at her phone. The way she avoided standing too close. How she kissed my cheek instead of my lips. "Do you want dinner?" she asked. "No," I said. "I already ate." A lie, but it felt appropriate. The next few days were a blur of normalcy stretched thin. She laughed. I nodded. We existed in the same space, pretending nothing was wrong. Inside, I was tearing everything apart, piece by piece, wondering where I'd failed. If I'd stopped trying. If love had quietly slipped through my fingers while I wasn't paying attention. The turning point came on a Thursday night. She said she was staying late again. Evan's car was in our driveway 30 minutes later. I stepped outside before I could overthink it. "Mara," I said calmly, We need to talk. Evan froze. She didn't. This isn't a good time, she said. Then there will never be one. He opened his mouth, probably to say something noble. I held up a hand. This doesn't concern you. She sighed, like I was inconveniencing her. That hurt more than anger would have. I know about the messages, I said. Her face went pale. Not shocked, just caught. It's not what you think, she started. It's exactly what I think, I replied. I don't need details. I just need honesty. She looked at Evan, then back at me. I didn't plan for this. I was lonely. You were always steady, predictable. I nodded slowly. So you found excitement. Silence. I never meant to hurt you, she whispered. That line. Everyone says it. I believe you, I said. And I did. But intentions don't erase choices. Evan cleared his throat. Maybe I should go. Yes, I said. You should have never been here. He left without another word. Mara cried then. Real tears. Apologies tangled with explanations. She talked about feeling unseen, about losing herself, about how she didn't feel like my wife anymore, just part of my routine. I listened, not because it fixed anything, but because it mattered to hear it. I'm not asking you to forgive me, she said. I don't even know what I want. I did. I want my dignity, I said quietly, and I don't think I can have that here anymore. The word surprised even me, but once they were out, they felt right. We separated a month later. No screaming, no courtroom drama, just two people packing up a life that no longer fit. Now, when I think back to the moment she snapped, to his smile, to my calm fine, I understand it wasn't weakness. It was the moment I stopped begging for respect and started choosing myself. I still miss her sometimes. Or maybe I miss who I thought she was. Healing isn't linear. Some days are heavier than others. But I breathe easier now. And that counts for something.